freaked me out. I'm like, I see you, and I'm like,
Oh, you're right.
See, you have to run over.
You know,
you're in a good spot. Right here.
you got her. Jamie.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Give me a minute, and I'll be right back.
Sounds
Get
good.
everyone going.
Sounds good. I'll wait for you. I'm waiting for Mike, and I'm waiting for
Okay.
you.
That's fine. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Thank you so much for doing this. I want to cry. Nope, I'll be right back. I'm in charge. You know that.
Okay. I like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we're going to do before we get started, why wouldn't we do a shot of 10 high? Let's get the hands in the air, everybody. If you were invited up for this, you know who you are. If you're not up here, make your way to the front. And I want to remind everybody, make call this a funeral. This is a rock show. We're celebrating BJ. Get him up in the air again, everybody. Let's do this shot. On behalf of our brother, ladies and gentlemen. If you were invited up for this, you know who you were. Unfortunately, we can't do shots for everybody, but if you were invited, just the people that were invited, thank you. Thank you. And then we will start with today's show. Say something for the shot. You want to come over and say something for the shot? Okay. Okay, let me know when everybody's got
We only got about
6 more.
Not before the shot.
Yes, photos are allowed.
Carly's old enough now.
You want to say something? Before you guys start? Or does anybody else want to do it? Hey, Jen, who do you want to give the toast?
You, because I'm not
Okay, we got somebody right here to do that.
Oh,
As long as everybody's got a shot.
Make sure you tell the truth.
Well, I'm going to tell the absolute truth. Everybody ready? This stuff tastes like pure gasoline, but today we drink it for BJ, all right? Cheers, BJ. We love you, brother. BJ!
He said it's the only thing he didn't like about the guy. All right, everybody. Shannon mentioned it before. Shannon Appleby over here. Photos, video, all that. We're at a rock and roll show. We're not treating this like a funeral today, everybody. Thanks for coming out. My name is James Larson. I work at a radio station, KRNA, but it doesn't matter anything about me today. I was asked by the family, by Jen, to just get up here and run this rock and roll show like I've done before. That's how I met BJ. And let me tell you, I was nervous coming in here to do this thing. I've never proceeded over a funeral before, never in my life. But when I walk in and I hear Cemetery Gates by Pantera, how cool is that? And I've got a lot of notes to read from because I know BJ, like the family and like people out here, you guys, he was the best friend to a lot of you, but we weren't going to talk about religion, and I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to tell you one thing. When I see on Facebook all these friends that have said things, I see the people here, I see how people react. I know BJ's in a good spot right now, and I know he's watching over us, loving all of this. I know that for a fact. And before I move on, I also want to thank the funeral home here. I've been working with Mike, probably the coolest guy. He's got his hair green, he's got the bandana going. A lot of places wouldn't let a group like us in here. But Mike did. Look at this guy back there. This is a party. And if I screw up, I'll apologize in advance. This is my first party like this at a funeral, but it is a rock and roll show, everybody. So, again, welcome. Today we celebrate the life of B.J. Taylor. Like I said before, it's not exactly your traditional funeral, but this is B.J. Taylor's final big show. And this is exactly how we wanted it. Jen commented that when she saw the coffin that she could just see B.J. next to her when she saw it. So that was perfect. He brought all of us together for so many shows. I know how I met him. They asked me to MC an event. And that's how I got to know the guy. And there were so many days of shooting guns, like blowing shit up. And I apologize for the language now. And great motorcycle rides, bonfires, and parties. To many of us here, others, a father, a husband, an uncle, but most of all, he was a friend to everybody. A brother. Absolutely. BJ once told me I'll never know. Oh, I'm sorry. This was, yeah, I got it right. Just making sure. This was from Bridget. BJ once told me, I'll never know why people like me so much. I'm an asshole. Now we go on to Bridget Williams said it best on one of her Facebook posts. This is Bridget. This isn't me. I know that you have never understood why people are drawn to you and why they even like you because you think you're such an asshole. Well, you are an asshole, but you are genuine, and that's what makes others comfortable around you, and that's what draws them to you and keeps them near you. You are a humble yet proud man, a strong and generous man. All that is true. Like a brother to a few and a true friend to many. I know this will probably make you cry. It's okay. It's just like the meds, and then wink emoticon. This is a Facebook post. It's 2015. I'm so grateful that you have the opportunity to know how much you mean to so many while you are still alive. I can't say everything will be okay, but I can say that you are surrounded by people who will go the distance to make everything as close to okay as possible. We love you so much. How cool is that? BJ replied, BJ replied, "Damn meds. Thank you so much, B. You make me cry again, but you also made me feel comfortable, happy, and loved. Whatever happens, I am okay. I've spent my life among true friends, and not everyone can say that. Whatever happens in the end, I couldn't have asked for better people to share my life with. You have a knack for making me cry, but my heart has never felt warmer. I hope you know how much I love you and Ed and how important you are to me." Round of applause, everybody. It's a great post. So I don't have a whole lot of notes except for what you guys prepared for me, but I talked to Deb Fleming. Is Deb here? Will you stand up, please? Where's Deb Fleming at? I think she's here still. Deb was a second mother, right, Jen, basically, to BJ. And she told me a story. This was a great story. She said that they got a call. I think BJ was in 3rd grade and his friend was in 1st grade. I almost didn't believe this story. The principal called home to this 3rd grader's parents and said, "We got a little issue here at the school. Your kid's been drinking." I said, "At 3rd grade? Come on." How about some horns to that, everybody? Horns over here, BJ. They found a can of beer in the gutter, so why not drink it?
They found
A half a can of beer. 3rd grade and 1st grade.
Casey Fleming.
Yeah. Now, she also went on to say, I don't know when this was, it was at the home port, couldn't have been too long ago, that Deb and her husband were there, and they met with you guys. And again, we're not here to talk a whole lot about religion, but they said a prayer, and BJ prayed with them. So Deb wanted me to say that. I hope Deb's out here. Deb, good to see you. All right, so we move on. I saw a quote on Facebook the other day that really summed up the way that BJ led his life. Life's journey is not to arrive at the grave safely in a well-preserved body, but rather to skid in sideways, totally worn out, shouting, "Wow, what a ride!" And that's just how he lived his life. And today I'm going to share some more memories of BJ with you. There are some stories from his friends and family. We will have a few speakers come up throughout the day. We're going to have some great music. Of course, some of BJ's favorite bands are going to play some tunes that will all remind you of BJ and some of the great times we have all had with him. It was my idea to bring up additional speakers, but Jen, totally, we're going to be here all day if we do that. But if I miss anything, ladies and gentlemen, again, Saturday, we've got everything going on Saturday, and this is something we're going to continue for a long time, the celebration of his life.
You'll see me stroll later.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. Jen gave me
I don't streak, I stroll.
Jen gave me strict instructions, but if somebody comes up here and wrestles the microphone out of my hand, there's nothing I can do about it. All right, a little bit more about BJ. His body gave out after living hard for 42 years. But in that 42 years, he lived a life that most people wouldn't be able to accomplish in 4 lifetimes, and that's the truth. He was a biker that did crazy cool biker stuff. He rode the coolest bike. He wore leathers, had green hair, tattoos, and an amazing beard that envied by many. I mean, how about the beard, ladies and gentlemen? How about the beard? And as Neil from Royal Bless says, Royal Bless, we're giving him a royal blessing today. He's painting heaven green right now. How cool is that, Neil? We all know green was his favorite color. Everything was either green or black. There wasn't another color in the rainbow. By the way, who are the Raiders playing this weekend? Does anybody know? Silver, I forgot. You're right. Now, this is kind of my favorite part in this. BJ scared people, ... at first. He scared me, I'm not going to lie to you, because I used to kind of flirt with his wife here, Jen, a lot, and then one day he says, "Who the hell are you anyway?" I knew right then, just to stay far, far away. I recently read a story about a guy that was in high school, scared shitless of BJ. The guy was walking into school. He turned his head and he spit, but he didn't realize BJ was running into the school from behind him and nailed him right in the face with a big old loogie. The guy thought he was dead, just like I did after about 9 beers and a vodka cran when I said, "Who's this cute blonde over here?" But BJ said, "Hey, you spit on my face." And the guy replayed, "Sorry, man, I really didn't mean to. I didn't think I was going to hit your face." And the guy thought he was going to die. But BJ just said, "It's okay," wiped it off, and kept going. But the guy does look like a professional wrestler, so I can see where this person would be scared. He looks like a punk rocker and a badass biker dude, and that's how we'll always remember him. My notes say, he's what Hollywood used as a model for the most badass character you can think of. Thank you, Shannon, for these kind words. After the first show I did with them and having some drinks, seeing how he worked with other people, I realized right then there was something special about this guy. I personally did some shows at Blitzkrieg just with my radio station and hanging out with these people, and I noticed it wasn't just BJ, it was just an entire family of people. All you guys are great. I have a lot of friends. I'm lucky to have a lot of friends, but I honestly can say I don't have friends like BJ had and has and always will. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You guys are kick-ass. So again, we're going to have a lot of fun. This is a party. We're all going to go to the home port after this, after we do the ride into Marion and around. And if anybody has any questions about that, we'll go ahead and answer those. But now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to hear a little music. Does anybody know who Tim Cord is, by the way? It's kind of what I thought. All right. So we're going to send it over to Tim Cord now. This is just like a live TV show, just the way BJ would want it. Hey guys, let's have a lot of fun because this is the party. This is the celebration. We're not going to use the word funeral anymore. We're going to use the word celebration. We're going to have a good time, and I'm going to send things over to Timmy Cord.
All right.
Yeah!
So this song, it's close to the Taylor family. We did this after, we did this in Anamosa actually, after the tragedy, losing people close to the Taylor family. So I was asked to play this song again. And before we do this, I'd like to send BJ off with a toast. Everybody raise some horns. May the road rise up to greet you, and may the wind be always at your back.
Give it up for Tim Court, everybody. Man, that was awesome. Folks, even though this is a rock show, it's okay to cry. I mean, that was awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right, well, moving on, the family wanted to bring up, obviously, one of BJ's best friends, and these guys actually met in the principal's office, right? Is that what it was, about 30 years ago? Hellraiser his entire life, both these guys. So do me a favor, let's put up the horns and welcome Kurt to the stage, everybody. Kurt Burgess, bring him up.
Well, holy shit. Has this been one hell of a party or what, guys? Yeah, when I met BJ, it was, I went to Roosevelt Junior High. BJ went to Trinity along with an asshole in the crowd named Brad Vanazin. And I got kicked out of a class, and they forced me to work in the library. And it just so happened to be that one day of the week that they bust the Trinity kids in. And they would line up at the end of the day outside the library. And I'm sitting here doing stuff. I'm a fat kid, you know. I'm kind of nerdish. No, I know. But I'd notice, I'd look over my shoulder, and there'd be BJ and there'd be Brad Vanazin just standing there pointing at me, laughing, making stupid faces. Constantly. And this happened every frickin' week. It still does, I know. So finally one day I just kind of looked over my shoulder. I'm like, what the hell is your guys' problem? And then BJ just said, nothing, I'm just giving you shit, dude. And we became friends at that point. And I mean, Marconi was there. He remembers most of this stuff. I didn't have any fun. Hell, that's right. But, as years went on, we became friends. We obviously bonded over music and all sorts of different stuff. And let's fast forward to high school. He went to Kennedy, I went to Jefferson. BJ and I decided, at one point we decided to put a band together. He was many of you might not know this, but he was actually a pretty decent drummer. Actually really good. The guy was ripped too. Nobody could hit those drums harder than that guy. We had to buy better amplification just to keep up with how hard that guy hit the drums. Anyway, we would practice over at his mom and dad's house, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have partied over there. And being around BJ, nothing serious really could happen for too long. So we would have these 5-hour band practices and maybe play 3 songs. There was a lot of drinking, a lot of puking, girls. When Ed was there, we'd bring guys. Oh, is this not a roast? I didn't mean to. But I mean, so much shit happened over there. I remember one time we were partying, I don't remember who it was, but BJ's mom had this little poodle. You remember the poodle? Terry Topping. Somebody puked on it and dyed it pink. And it was during that time, some of you know a little bit about this story, but you've seen pictures of the infamous jar of mysterious liquid. Oh, and many of you have been forced to smell that jar. I'm going to reveal to you right now what was actually in that jar. There was some really old wine in the bottom of the jar, and we were drinking Wild Turkey heavily at the time. So every time we were done with the Wild Turkey, we always left a little bit. We'd always pour the remains into that bottle. Well, as we were practicing, for some odd reason, when we had to piss, we couldn't walk. We couldn't walk 20 feet to the bathroom. So BJ, myself, and Dave Erb decided that we were going to start pissing in that bottle. And it got put on the shelf, and I went back over there years later, and the jug was still there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I make people smell it." When my band was playing at a show, BJ comes walking in the front door, and he's got the damn bottle with him. And he said, "Jenny won't let me keep it at the house anymore." Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with it? I know. Well, luckily, Dave Erb took it home. He was going to bring it with him today, but Dave wasn't able to make it to the funeral. So it'll probably be there Saturday night if anybody really wants to smell this bottle. That night that we were playing our show, somebody came up to us and wanted to take a drink out of the damn thing. I let them get it up to their lips, and I'm like, no, stop. I'm not going to hell for that. That bottle is full of evil and DNA. You know, as the years went on, you know, BJ was always the guy. You know, anytime I tried to do anything in life, he was always one of the first people to call me. He always encouraged me in everything I did. When I got into stand-up comedy, BJ was one of the first people to call me. He said, dude, I've been telling you for years to do this. I'm like, I know. And a lot of the bits that I do on stage are based off of conversations that him and I have had. So that's why the first 30 minutes of my show is about masturbating. We talked about that a lot. Sorry, kids. I remember running into BJ and Anna at a Gwar concert. What were you, like, 8? Jeez, man. We were trying to protect you from blood and what was supposed to resemble man juice flying from the stage. He was an unconventional parent, but you guys got the best of him. You guys are great. You guys are great kids, and he loved you. He was very proud of you. So always know that. BJ, he was one of those guys that when you walked into the room, everybody knew him, everybody had to talk to him, but he would walk in and he'd see you, he'd lock eyes with you, and you knew he was going to come around and find you at some point. I would walk in, I'd wave at him, and, you know, sure enough, maybe might have been 20 minutes to an hour later, I'd get a tap on the back, I'd turn around, and nothing else in the room mattered at that point. You know, BJ was not one of those guys to get out his damn phone and check his Facebook. Unless it was, yeah, well, he had Pornhub. But didn't we all? But you know, nothing else mattered, you know, at that point. He locked in with you, and, you know, he never talked about his problems. He was really interested in what was going on with you, and he was always the first person to jump in and help, no matter what. And that's certainly one of the best qualities that, you know, a lot of us now have to pick up the slack to make up for that. But BJ, yeah, absolutely.